I've worked in the wealth management and financial advice space for over 5 years now. And one thing that I've seen consistently throughout my career is people wondering, does it matter when in the year or what month I retire? And my answer is always yes, it does matter. It's not the most important thing in the world, but it definitely does have an impact on the success of the retiree. There's three things I want to go over. The last one is the most common, I'd say, so stick around for that one. And the first one is simply um, kind of being cognizant of the fact that if you retire early in the year versus later in the year, it's going to change your yearly income significantly. So if you make $100,000 a year, but you retire in April, that means you're going to have about $30,000 for that month or that year. And that's going to significantly change your tax loss harvesting strategy. It's going to change your IRA strategy or even your ability to contribute based on what your kind of day-to-day expenses are in life. It's something I think that a lot of people kind of forget about, and they just think, well, the last 10 years I've made about $100,000, give or take 5 grand, 10 grand. And then they retire in April and they think that their IRA strategy and their tax loss harvesting strategy is going to be the exact same when it's completely different because you're making a third of what you usually make that year because you retired. And the second thing that I think is pretty common, it's something that a lot of people overlook, but it's just seasonal depression because a lot of people struggle the first couple of years of retirement. They have kind of a crisis of meaning. And I've seen most people struggle when they retire going into the winter because the winter is already difficult. A lot of people are more likely to have depression in the winter. It's called seasonal depression, where you get more down and melancholic due to the fact that the sun's setting earlier, you're getting less sunlight. There's a lot of different things. And I think that a lot of people retire and they have all this time on their hands. But if you retire in September or October or November, and then there's not really ball games to go to, you can't go to the beach, there's not as much sunlight, you're just inside all the time, you're more likely to get depressed and struggle in retirement. At least with the clients that I've worked with, there's a couple people that come to mind that have really struggled at least the first year, and they all retired going into the winter. So I try to encourage people, if it makes sense, retire going into the summer or going into spring, where you can go out and do things, you can get out in nature, get sunlight, go to ball games. This is what I try to encourage people. Or if you do retire in the winter, try to plan some sort of trip, if you can afford it, to maybe a warmer environment near the equator where you can still get outside and get that sunlight. If you're up north and you're just going to be inside all the time and you don't have some significant kind of hobbies lined up, you're going to have maybe too much time in your hands and it might end up being kind of detrimental to your mental health. The last thing I want to talk about is just the fact that some companies have bonus or healthcare strategies that you need to be aware of. So you definitely don't want to quit in November if your company gives out a big Christmas bonus and you're just handicapping yourself and cutting yourself off from that nice Christmas bonus that everybody's going to get, especially if it's been a good year in business. I try to encourage people to quit after the first of the month. If they're going to quit, you know, maybe near the end of the month, I say stay one more week because if you work that first day of the month, the company has to pay your healthcare costs through the end of that month. And you never know when a healthcare emergency is going to happen. God forbid something bad happened, like a car accident or a major fall or a broken limb. It's always nice to have that company covering any expenses. So I think it makes sense to just quit on the first or second or third of the month just to kind of cover your bases if there is some sort of healthcare emergency. We would hate to see you have to pay that out of pocket. And also, yeah, just being able to strategize because there are some people that do have problems with their healthcare in the winter or in the summer more, like something like seasonal depression comes up in the winter. If you're someone who takes medicine for that or has problems in the summer with, I don't know, gout or something like that, just be aware that you're going to be paying for those healthcare costs out of pocket for the first time. So just kind of thinking strategically when you're actually comfortable going off your company's insurance plans and healthcare plans. I wish you the very best. I know it's going to be a great time and it is a little bit stressful, but I think that most people that I've worked with have really enjoyed their retirements and it's something to be able to enjoy because you worked for it. If you want to work with an advisor and work with someone who can get you in the right situation to retire, or maybe just take a look over your plan, you can read every single word in the description of this video. So just go down below and read every single word in the description. I'll see you down there, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.